A very common scenario when working with Excel is to share a workbook. That is to have more than one person having access to the data, either to make changes or update or additions. Protecting that workbook is then something to consider, and there are some new options here in Excel 2013. We're going to explore them using this file named No Obstacle Sport Customer Database 3. As you can see down below, there are more than one tab. There's our main sheet, sheet 1, containing our customer database information, and there's also a power view, and if we switch over to that tab, you can see we're looking at a table with some tiles. Okay, so maybe this is an area where anyone can have access to manipulate the data and visualize it in different ways. We don't need to protect that. But if we go back to our sheet, maybe we do want to protect this sheet. Well, maybe we want to protect a part of this sheet. That is an option now using a range protection. So let's talk about that. Looking at our data, we have first name, last name, then we have phone, street address, city, zip code. There is some information here that should never change, like our customers' first and last names and their logins. Everything else, like phone number and their address, might change. So we want to give certain users access to this range even when our sheet is protected. So let's do that now. First, we'll go up to the Review tab on the ribbon, and here's where we see our protection options, like protecting a workbook. This is nothing new. Using the Protect Workbook option allows us to password protect our workbook. Anyone trying to open up the file called No Obstacle Sport Customer Database 3 would have to know the password, but then they'd have full access to the contents. Here's Protect Sheet, which allows us to password protect the sheet we're looking at. That would leave our Power View available to users to make changes. However, here in Sheet 1, they would need to know the password to get in. But maybe we want to make it so that we can protect our sheet and give users access to this range containing the phone number and address. In that case, you'll see this new feature allow users to edit ranges. Let's go there. We'll give it a click, and now all we need to do is create our new range. Click the New button, and we'll give it a name. Let's call it customer_info. Now the range itself, we could have selected it ahead of time, and it would appear here in the Refer to Cells field. But we can go ahead and select it using this button off to the right, give it a click, and temporarily now we have access to our spreadsheet. So let's start with the phone field here at cell C6. We'll click and drag across to the zip code and all the way down to the bottom. Now as we scroll quickly, you'll notice Excel slows down as it gets close to the end, which is well into the 200s here. There we go. 206 is the last row. So we'll let go there. That's the range, so we'll click that same button. Notice the range now appears in the new range field. Click that same button to get back in, and we'll give this range a password. Let's type in any password you like. You won't see what you're typing, and when you click OK, you'll be prompted to type it in again to make sure you got it right, and click OK. All right, so we now have our new range. You can see it there. We can add as many ranges as we like. And if we wanted to assign permissions, that is to specify who can edit the range without a password. And if you have a number of contacts, for example, this is a workbook that is available to people on the network. You could select names and just give them straight out permission without using the password. When we click Apply, it gets applied to our range. And now we have to actually protect the sheet. So let's go to Protect Sheet. We could also have done it from up here in the Changes section, Protect Worksheet. When we click that, we get to choose now exactly what our users will be allowed to do in this worksheet. Select Lock Cells, Select Unlock Cells is checked off by default, so is Protect Worksheet and Contents of Locked Cells unless they know the password. So we'll type in a password here for the sheet, click OK, and just like we saw with the range, we need to re-enter it and click OK. All right, we've protected our sheet and we actually have a range. Control Home on your keyboard is going to take you back to the top. Let's say we wanted to make a change now to the first name or last name here at the top. So we type in there, click, and type something like Rivers. As soon as I start to type, you can see the cell or chart that I'm trying to change is on a protected sheet. To make changes, I have to unprotect it, and I'd have to know the password to do that. So I go up to Unprotect Sheet. But what if I did want to make changes here to this range? I know I'm allowed to. Let's say someone's zip code has changed. We click in there, and when we go to change the zip code, you see it's a different message that pops up, A cell that I'm trying to change is password protected. Well, I know the password for the range. I don't know it for the worksheet, so I can't unprotect it, but I can get access to this cell. So I type in the password, click OK or press Enter, and now when I go to type in a new zip code, I'm allowed to. So that's how you can protect ranges within a sheet, protect an entire sheet, even an entire workbook, and assign permissions all at the same time here in Excel 2013.